Hi, Pastor Jerry here from Crossroads Church Cleburne, and it's time once again to meet at the Crossroads. Today's devotional comes from Matthew 20, verses 1 through 16. This is the same group of verses that we looked at yesterday, and it talks about the parable of the workers in the vineyard. Wealthy landowner, Jesus tells a parable, which is a story that's the story in itself is not true. It's not an actual happening, but it teaches spiritual truths. So he uses stories to teach spiritual truths. So in this story, a wealthy landowner goes out and he hires 4 different groups of workers, and he hires them at different times throughout the day. And at the end of the day, he actually pays the ones who were hired first, the ones that were hired last first, and the ones who were hired first, he pays last. And the first group, he pays the same amount that he pays the last group. So he pays the last group that was hired 1 denarius, and he had negotiated with the first group to pay them 1 denarius, so he gave them what they were owed and what he had agreed to, and it was a fair wage for the day. Well, when they got paid the denarius after seeing the people who only worked an hour get a full denarius for the day, they were really mad, and they were mad at the landowner and that he had given them the same amount. And this is how Jesus replies to them. He says, "Am I not allowed to do what I choose with what belongs to me? Or do you begrudge my generosity?" See, Jesus is teaching about the wealthy landowner, and the landowner was being generous. And the landowner in this parable is God. God is generous to all people. He gives them full salvation. There is no salvation light. There is no heaven light. There is no eternity with God light. He gives you full salvation, and it doesn't matter when you receive Him, and when you receive that salvation into your life, when you accept Jesus into your life, He gives you, He lets you enter the kingdom of heaven, and you are one of His children. Now, that doesn't apply to rewards. Rewards are taught about separately, but this is about salvation, about coming into relationship with your Heavenly Father. God is generous, He is loving, He is kind, and He wants to give to His children. He is not some mean ogre. He's not some God that's out to get you. He's actually a loving God that wants to give you salvation and be in a relationship with you for all eternity. So remember that and receive the generosity of your Heavenly Father today. So I pray that this encourages you, that it strengthens you. Remember that I love you, and that I'm praying for you each and every day. And may God bless you and keep you until we once again meet at the Crossroads.